Anybody have any questions? Yeah.
When you said you had like a Zappa feel to it, was that towards like, I hate to be morbid, but towards the end of his life when he started doing like the orchestral stuff, or more like?
Yeah, like I mean, like I didn't really execute it too well, but like, you know, like how when he kind of he has like a lot of modulations and like a lot of things where he'll be like kind of rooting things in like and what I mean by like modulations, what a modulation is to describe it. It's a thing that I'm like big into, which is called like polyrhythms. All right, how many people are familiar with the term polyrhythm here? Okay, what a polyrhythm basically is many rhythms. You know, and polyrhythms just means many rhythms. It's like, you know, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 different things playing off one another. All right, and like I feel like Zappa, like he would do things where he would like take things where it would sound like, you know, like the groove is like, you know, here, like, I'll play the groove like this. Right? And then he would like throw something else in there that would like totally throw you off, yeah. Like you made you feel like, you know, like... What he's doing is he's throwing like these five. Like 1, 2. Really, you know, without going too far off on a tangent. But basically, and some of it, like what I was trying to do is like the groove is here. And then like I was adding like these like other strings on top of it, so we had like that polyrhythmic pulse, so like, which is like a 5/4 type of thing. You know what I mean? So those of you who are like unfamiliar, basically what happens is what the polyrhythm is that you're playing like 5 notes on top of 4 notes, or 4 notes on top of 5, and what happens is the notes keep moving over one time until they finally come back together. It's just simple math. If you have 5 notes and you're going to play them 4 times, it's going to resolve on the 20th time. Or if you have 4 notes and playing 5 times, it's going to resolve on the 20th time. That's where they always come back together. So like if you're going with a space of 4 notes and you play them 5 times, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a, that sort of thing. And then you play the reverse of that on the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 times. What happens is that the note goes from here, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a. That's the feeling, all right? So that's kind of like what I'm outlining here. So like guys like with Zappa would do those type of things, or they would do things where like, you know, you would just feel like the groove in a certain way, where they would like, you know, take things and, you know, what I was saying before, those underlying pulses of like, you know, you're feeling 60 notes or whatever. He goes really crazy and goes into like things where like, you know, 13 tuplets and, you know, things like 15 and all sorts of things, where it's like here really fast, and the whole entire like, you know, band or ensemble, as you will, would go right with it. You know what I mean? So necessarily I wasn't totally going that route, but using some of that, that kind of vibe like in it. Wasn't necessarily saying like taking his stuff, but some of his techniques,
right,
and try to apply it like in that sort of context, you know. So that's kind of the vibe, you know. So like I'm gonna just kind of do like a solo like in a little bit that'll kind of be littered with a lot of modulations and that sort of thing. And actually, I never really totally went into, you know, expanded upon the modulation, but for instance, what I was just talking about, that whole 5 thing. When you modulate, or at least my understanding of it, is if the groove here is cemented in 5, you know, that sort of thing, and add this kind of other voice to it, you can just go to that next time signature, which would, you know, could be anything you want. You know, it could just be something just in straight form. So, you know, I can take out of that polyrhythm and just go into just a conventional groove. So. Technically, like I just modulated into 4/4 from like 5/4 over, you know, 5/8 over 4, you know, that sort of thing. So that's that kind of vibe. All right. Any other questions? Come on. Somebody got questions.
Is there going to be some stuff like this on the new album?
On the Coheed record?
No. Nothing a little crazy?
A couple little things, you know. For any of you that don't know, Coheed has a new record that's coming out April 13th. And the record's entitled Year of the Black Rainbow. I would like to play some tracks, but I'd have to get permission. But there's a couple things, you know, going on. You know, how many of you guys are familiar with a player named David Garibaldi? Okay, very few. He's a guy that he's a funk player that played with a band called Tower of Power, and he also put out a lot of books that you should definitely check out. And I think one of them that is one of the best is it's called Future Sounds, and that is everything that, in a nutshell, kind of like what I was talking about in terms of really developing like dynamics between the hi-hat, kick, and snare drum, like a lot of ghost notes. There's tons of like grooves in there. It's a lot of fun to play. Each kind of section variates a little bit from the other, but it's all kind of working towards really getting like just a good sound from these 3 parts, you know, that sort of thing. And in one of the Coheed tunes, I'm kind of doing like that type of vibe where I'm playing misplaced doubles, and the groove is just kind of like. Sort of thing. It's all derived from like Garibaldi stuff, which just has you playing a lot of grooves, whereas you know, like the groove is basically here. You know, really trying to get like the ghost notes and the dynamics happening. So, you know, we were just jamming like on a riff that Claude had, and that was, I don't know, just from doing it so much, doing those type of things and listening to that, it just kind of happened naturally, you know. So yeah, hence that type of groove. That's on a song called Guns of Summer. So
awesome.
Any other questions? All right.